Smartwatches and fitness watches are absolutely coming out of our ears in recent years, and I myself have had a fair variety. I've had a couple of Apple Watches, I've had a Fitbit Inspire 3 and a Garmin Venue 2, but I think I finally found the one for me, and I have been wearing this Garmin Fenix 8, the 47mm AMOLED model, for just over a week now. Something just attacked my eye, sorry. For just over a week now. And where I've found previous smartwatches quite clunky, quite irritating and quite distracting, I found this a genuine pleasure to both wear and enjoy, finding many of its features genuinely useful rather than just pointless and gimmicky flexes of what hardware that size is capable of or what it can do. And I also think it looks really nice as well. I absolutely love this orange strap. The colour pops really nicely. It's the silicone strap. They're interchangeable, quick release, very, very cool. But over the course of this video, I'm going to show you a variety of things of what this watch can do and tell you a little bit about it and what I love about it. But first, let's get changed into something more fitnessy and put it through some activity tests. So far on this little hike test, I'm really loving the map feature of the watch, which I never thought I'd really utilise or use on smartwatches. But it's so nice not really having to get my phone out. There are signposts and everything to say the general direction to go, but it's nice to know exactly where you're going and what's coming up, what to expect, as well as knowing all the usual stuff like elevation and time and all that stuff. And it's also just absolutely lovely to be right amongst nature, right in the thick of it. So I actually ended up getting a bit lost, but another great feature of this, I went on the map and clicked on the menu, and there's a function to navigate back to the beginning of the activity. So this is actually showing me the directions, the turns and everything, right back to where we parked and where we started. Perfect. Our hike's come to an end, so I'll press stop and I should be able to save my activity. I'm going to take off the auto lock feature because I use it a bit too regularly. And then that should send to my Garmin app and also update my Strava as well. And then show me some stats, hopefully. It shows me how long we were travelling for, total ascension, the pace and the elevation, which was the main thing that I wanted to see. Heart rate, max was 150. That must have been on the tougher bits, the tougher inclines. And then it's cool to see the heart rate zones and everything like that as well. And I'll need 46 hours of recovery time apparently. So overall, I think that was a really enjoyable experience wearing this for a hike. I'd not really taken a smartwatch or a fitness watch on a hike before, But being able to see things like the elevation and a compass and also a map, which I really needed towards the end when I got lost, it was really, really handy and made the hiking experience a lot more enjoyable. So, first test done. So evidently the running test is underway. I'm just over a kilometre in and the Garmin has just told me something it hasn't told me before. So it said that my fitness condition or current condition in this workout is good. So I guess now I've got more data on it, it's got more things to compare it to. And that has also altered the heart rate zones. So now it's got to know kind of my average heart rate and stuff. It's telling me properly what zone I should be in. It's the first time I used it. It was wrong basically, it was too high. So that's a great thing about these watches. The more you wear them, the more they get to know you, and the other way around, and the more accurate the readings and everything will be. So yeah. So here on the main screen, you have essentially what you'd expect from a running watch. You've got your timer there, the distance, and we also have the pace and the heart rate too. If you scroll down one, we then have lap time, lap distance, and then the lap pace at the bottom here as well. We've got the sunset and the time of day at the screen just below that. And then we have my potential favourite feature, which is the GPS and the map. Something that's really surprised me about the Garmin, a feature that I love so much more than I thought I would, and I did think it was a bit of a gimmicky thing in the past, is the map on there. And I think it's maybe because this is the biggest screen I've had on a smartwatch, but it's very legible, you can easily see it. There's also different controls on there, so you can pre-save routes and take those, or you can just kind of, I guess, freely look at the map, see where you're going. But also, if you do get lost, you can navigate back to the start, which is a great feature. By clicking, I think it is literally, navigate back to the start of this activity, and it will take you back on the exact route that you came on in the first place. So yeah. Next is the Racket sport test, and today I've enlisted the help of my very, very sporty friend Dan. This is Dan, say hello.
Hello, Dan.
And we're playing squash, and I'm going to get absolutely battered by him, but I'll show you what the watch can do when we're playing a sport like this. He's trying to be cool. Nice. So after a very fun workout, that is it. And it wasn't too bad a pasting, was it? Well, we had a good time, and what's recorded on this is mainly the heart rate, the calories burned, and also the time spent doing the exercise as well. And yeah, overall, that was a fun test to do. Now, one thing that I've never ever tracked on smart or fitness watches is cycling, and I've dusted off my bike to come and find out exactly what kind of things this Fēnix 8 measures when cycling. And you're all going to come with me, and hopefully I won't fall off my bike. Thought I'd just pull over to show you exactly what we're tracking here. So much like the running activity function, we've got the timer here, we've got distance and speed and our heart rate zones across the bottom. We've got our lap time, lap distance and our lap speed, and you can start a new lap by just pressing this button here. And then we have sunset and the time of day, which is always handy if you're going out on a complete day of cycling, you want to know exactly what's going on. And then also the map, and I think the map is probably most handy for the cycling activity, because obviously you can cover big distances, you might want to change your route and everything, so this is a really cool and important thing to have, I'd say. So I've just about finished my little ride, and I just wanted to say how great it's been to just have all these stats and measurements such an easy little glance away, and the display for this particular activity anyway seems to always be on. You don't have to do a little wrist roll or tap the screen or anything, nothing that's going to distract you from riding or make it unsafe. It's just always there. Just turn your wrist, have a little look, see what speed you're going at, if you want to know exactly where you are on the map. It's all there. It's also just really nice knowing that you have this little companion with you on these activities that are, I guess, they are potentially quite dangerous, especially cycling, because you're contesting with cars on the roads and all sorts. And knowing that this has the impact technology that will alert your chosen emergency contacts and everything in the event of an emergency, it just kind of helped me feel a lot more reassured and safe on this particular ride. So another successful test indeed. And now we're going to use again one of my absolute favourite features, which is to navigate back to the start of the activity and find our way home. When I was first exploring on the Fēnix 8, I went straight to the activity section and found all the sports you'd expect to be able to track on a fitness watch. You know, you've got running, cycling, swimming, all kinds of things. But as I got nearer to the bottom, I found some quite obscure activities. Obscure for a fitness or smartwatch to be able to track anyway. And I found it really entertaining to have a good scroll through these. I won't ruin it for you. Save that excitement for yourself to see exactly what is on one of these. But one of the main ones that intrigued me was gaming. Now, those of you who know me, I absolutely love video games. I did a bit of research on it, and it turns out it's more for esport players, which shows how much of a kind of serious sport gaming is becoming. But I wanted to test out what it tracked and exactly what the Garmin would do when I'm sat playing on video games. So today I've worn my Star Wars t-shirt to tuck into some Star Wars Battlefront 2, and also the new Fortnite update is Star Wars themed. So let's have a look.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. I think
Not first place. 31st place. Needless to say, I'm not very good. So before you start your activity, you get to choose what kind of game you're playing. So I was playing a Battle Royale game, so obviously clicked on that one. Then it comes up with the main screen where along the top it tracks your stress level, and that seems to be the main unique feature of this particular activity, as I haven't seen that on any of the others that I've done yet. And then it has your body battery, and it also tells you your game power, and I think that's the time it gives you before it says you should take a break, which is quite a nice feature as well, because obviously you sat down a lot, potentially getting quite stressed. It's important to go and stretch your legs. And then, yes, we have the heart rate as well, of course. And every time you finish a game, you can click on the bottom right button, and that will finish the activity, and you can input exactly how many places there possibly are in that particular game you're playing. For me, I think it was 100. And then your placement, so where you came in the game, and you can select that. Press the top right button, and then it's ready for your next game when you're loading in. And when you're ready to start that, press the bottom right button again, and the same screen will come up that tracks your vitals and everything like that. Something I've always found really rather exciting about smart and fitness watches is the ability to essentially recreate the entire look of the dial compared to what it looked like when you first got out of the box. It will, of course, never replicate or have that true depth in a dial like a traditional watch would, but these watches can do things that traditional watches could never ever dream of, in my opinion, such as showing you a live feed of data, tracking exactly how many steps you've taken today, your current heart rate, the weather, and maybe even how close you are to your sporting goal for the week, which you can alter within the Garmin app, as well as a ton of other things, but I'm going to come back to the app later because there really are some really cool features with that one. So yes, customization with these kind of intelligent wrist computers is a really big thing, of which the Fēnix 8 gives you a lot of freedom with to make uniquely yours. So much freedom and such variety of options, in fact, that they have their own especially dedicated app, Connect IQ, just for watch dials almost. On here you can install apps for your device, download both free and paid digital watch faces, some of which are absolutely incredible, and they're created by a huge community of Garmin users and lovers. And I've been really tempted in particular by this Fallout one. I think to wear a, what's it called? A Pip-Boy Garmin. How cool is that? Okay, I'll buy it after this video. And you can even create your own by using your own images, maybe of your favourite animal or cake, or maybe of your spouse, if you'd like to see their face every time you turn your wrist. It might give you some extra motivation for shedding those pounds. I don't know. You can do that by going to the Face It section along the bottom of the IQ app, and I, for one, had a lot of fun playing with this. Oh, and I need to interrupt what I was saying with the fact that I found this incredible widget app. It's free, and it's called Walking with Frodo, and it's a widget that allows you to virtually travel, for you Lord of the Rings fans, virtually travel with Frodo and Sam on their quests to Mount Doom. This journey that you'll go on with them is 2,900 kilometres long, so I'm guessing this would be something that's kind of tracking in, ticking over every day while you're walking, completing your steps and walking and exercise goals for the week. And you will unlock and earn 66 unique milestones along your quest as well, and it's going to give you some quotes and inspirational things from the films and the books as well. A really cool little thing. I just had to tell you all, sorry. On these digital dials, you are able to change much of what it tracks to suit your own preferences. So I opted for things like the steps counter, weather, and showing my weekly running goal in prep for my first marathon in September. But you could switch these things out for things like how many floors you've climbed today, or different time zones. Very handy. Basically a GMT function right there, just one quick easy glance away. And then you could even have your current stress levels for when you need to go and do something more relaxing than potentially your day job. And now we'll look over my favourite section of this whole watch. So I went straight to the activity section as soon as I got this watch out of the box, because aside from the usual stuff you expected to track, like running and everything, I thought there's got to be some unique ones in here. Like, this is quite a high-end fitness watch. It's going to tackle the niches, surely. And sure enough, when I got near the bottom, it had some, in my opinion, wacky sports that it tracked. As I think I've mentioned earlier in the video, though, that is some excitement I really want to save for you to have for the first time, because it really was very cool and entertaining to have a good explore on this thing. And it's just crazy because this list had me wanting to try sports and activities that I'd never ever dreamed of, purely to see what it would track and if I'd be any good at something like, spoilers, fishing. And it's probably worth me mentioning that you can alter the units that these activities are measured in. So when I was doing my first run, I hadn't thought about that yet, so it was in miles. I much prefer kilometres, and I will show you here while I'm talking about this on screen how to do that. You have to dig a little bit through settings, but once it's done, that's it then, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And that's just another thing that reinforces how customizable this particular watch is, and how you can make it exactly how you feel comfortable and how you want it to be. Well, rather a lot, actually. It can tell you the weather. Of course, it links to your smartphone. Ring Shari Francis.
Calling Shari Francis mobile.
Control your music. And ejects water function for when the watch gets wet. You can set timers. A torch. It has an eye-saving mode, kicking in at night time, which makes the screen's colours warmer. It can track your sleep. Alexa, turn off the lights.
Okay.
You can set alarms. It has accident detection technology, which will notify your chosen emergency contacts. You can edit those in the Garmin Connect app, and it has many, many more features. But the Fēnix 8 isn't just fitness and function, it looks really good as well, and that is definitely something that I can't say for all smart and fitness watches. And this particular one has this really nice bold orange silicone strap. They've interestingly integrated some quick release function on that strap as well. And one of my favourite things, a small but very essential detail I find with a sports and fitness watch, is that this outer loop has a little notch on it that keeps the band exactly in place, which, as I say, is important for when you're doing your activities, your sports. You don't want the strap to become loose and start flapping about everywhere to distract you. And then we come to the case. This very light but very durable titanium. I genuinely forget that this is on my wrist, and I was so surprised, because this is the 47mm. And for me, someone with a small wrist, I thought that this would be massive, very cumbersome, very heavy, and it is anything but, which is exactly what you want, of course, for when you're using it for its many functions, like when you're doing sports and all that stuff. You don't want to be weighed down by a big clunky watch, but this is brilliant. And then it's got these buttons around the sides as well that feel very tactile, very well made, and that is just the watch in general. An incredibly well-made device that is both practical but fashionable as well. And I like the fact that this is shaped more like a traditional watch, which again is something that a lot of smartwatches don't really seem to go for. But with the lugs and everything, it looks good. You can easily, with the quick release, change this out for, I've seen they do a brown leather strap, make it look a bit jazzier, a bit more upmarket for a dinner when you're wearing a suit. This can actually be a watch that you wear all the time. and I think that's really rare with these watches. A very important feature that I must mention, it's probably on all of your minds, is the battery life, and I genuinely think that this must have the best battery life of any device that I've bought in recent years. It has a 16-day battery life. I've made this video over the course of about a month, and I can definitely tell you that this is accurate. Okay, so I've charged this 3 times, but that was out of choice, because when it gets down to 5 days of battery life left as opposed to 16, to me I was like, oh, that's low battery, I'll give it some juice, I'll put it on charge. But of course I didn't need to, because you'd be charging an Apple Watch pretty much every night like you would with your phone, and that is where the novelty is very quickly worn off, I think, with my previous smart and fitness watches, because I get tired of just having another device to stick on charge every night. It's another charger to carry around with you on your trips and your travels. But this, you charge it up fully in an hour or under, and you've got it for over 2 weeks. And yes, when you do certain activities, for example, when I went on a hike and it's tracking loads of different things, it does put a strain on the battery life. When I went on that hike, it was about 4 hours long. The battery life went down by about 3 days, I think. But that's not the usual, because some activities track quite minimal things. But hiking had all sorts of stats on there. It had a map constantly loading. I understand. But even then, you know, I'd been on a hike. You'd used it for 4 hours. It still had about 12 days of battery life left. That is fine with me. And it is definitely, I think, the best feature on here. And it must be competing for the top battery life of any smart or fitness watch in the market. And the final thing that I would like to mention is something I said that I would come back to, and that is the Garmin Connect app. Now, there are so many features on here that, of course, connect to your watch, but also connect you to the wider community of Garmin users. You can add friends on here, and in the news feed, you can see not only your own activities, but your friends' activities too. You can give it a like, comment on their activity to tell them how well they've done and how proud of them you are. It has a calendar where you can input your upcoming activities. Maybe you've got a race booked or something. So like my first marathon in September, I have that in there, and then it notifies me on the watch quite regularly to say, remember that it's coming up, basically asking if I'm training, reminding me. And then a great section is the challenge section, where you can not only join challenges that are made by Garmin and the community, you can create your own challenges and invite others, your friends, to partake in them as well. A bit of friendly competition. Me and my friends did a running goal for the week. I think it was just one other friend that accepted my request, and he wasn't planning to run that week, so I won. And then on the homepage, you have much of the normal stuff that your watch will be tracking currently. So we've got the heart rate, your steps for the day, all of that kind of stuff. And then over in the more section, we have a lot of other things like your gear. You can input what shoes you're wearing, how long you've worn them for on things like your runs. You can also edit a lot of things that you can't in the app as well, because it's just a lot easier to do it on a bigger screen, I suppose. But my ultimate favourite feature of this app is the fact that you can earn badges. And I think as a big kid, someone who loves games, this definitely gamifies it for me and keeps me interested. So when you complete certain challenges, you earn these badges. These badges all have a different point value, and those points go towards you leveling up. And my level on the Garmin app is level 3. I doubt that is amazing, but I think I'm about a level above a couple of my friends, and that makes me feel good inside. But no, it's really fun. It's a really cool extension of having a Garmin, and another way of making you feel part of this big, ever-growing community, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of. I thought I'd conclude this video the way it began, which is me having a little stroll amongst nature, amongst some greenery, and just start by saying that more than anything, the Fēnix 8, the Garmin Fēnix 8 47mm AMOLED model has shocked me. I love technology, right? I always have. And I like the idea of smart fitness watches, but they've never stuck with me. It's always a very short-lived thing, something I always get quite bored of. But I do not see me taking this off. I don't see me getting bored of this. I love it. And it feels like an extension of my life now. I guess like your smartphone is to keep in touch with people. My relationship with fitness is only a very recent affair, the past couple of years. And this feels like it's really aiding with that and helping keep my interest in it, being able to track every activity that I could think of doing. And it's such an enjoyable experience. And yes, it is expensive. It's on the higher end of the market. £1,000 is a lot for a watch, a smartwatch even, when you can get things like the Android ones and the Fitbit ones, and even Apple watches that are cheaper than this. There are a lot of Garmins that are cheaper than this, but they can't do everything that this can do. And this is an absolute powerhouse of a watch. It has everything in there. And for the look of it, how customizable it is, how just well made it is, I can really understand and actually justify paying that amount of money. And I know that this isn't going to be something that I'm going to want to change next year when maybe the more recent model has come out. It's going to be something that stays with me for years. And I hope the battery life lasts for all that time and keeps being as good as it is now. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long for you all. It was a lengthy one, but I really wanted to go quite in depth with this watch because it has many, many features that a normal watch, of course, doesn't have. But if you haven't already, give us a like and a subscribe if you'd like to see more content from us, and if you'd like to see even more of what we create and what we get up to in the week and what kind of products come through, then make sure you give our socials a little follow as well. I'll put the links for those down in the description of the video. But for now, it's goodbye, and I'll see you very soon.